Noah Webster Educational Foundation, we really zero in on 5 things. We focus on instruction. We focus on the role of parents in education, the role of government in education, the role of faith and morality in education, and the role of facilities and budgets in education. Is there anything that you'd like to speak to on any of those points?
Well, budgets come to mind because we had in our district, it was unique in that each school has its own significant budget. And so and we were called site administrators rather than principals because we had a responsibility for the whole gamut, for the operation of the building, for the fuel, for keeping it heated in the wintertime, for sports transportation, for everything from opening the door to closing it at the end of the school year. So budgets were critical. So each of the site administrators had control of what they could do with their building and what they could do within reason, and with their staff. So you hired the staff that you needed, the teachers and the aides and so forth. So there was a responsibility there that was much broader than being a principal. That was on top of being a principal, I guess, and being a teacher. Teachers also shared in that responsibility. Instruction, we changed our system the time that I was there, the 20 years in the district, from just a general education to a more standards-based. And our approach and our rationale was that our kids weren't prepared for college, that were wanting to go to college. The college was saying that the kids weren't coming ready for school, ready for college, weren't prepared. So we weren't pushing our kids far enough. And so we developed our own system of standards a little before state standards kind of was in vogue. And so each of the grades had a standard to reach before the student could move on to the next grade. It's quite complex. I don't think they're doing that any longer. They may have done a different form of it, but it was a tough egg to crack. It was bucking or going against the old system placement, regardless of abilities and skill level, was tough. And I don't know if we ever really achieved it completely. We did with some kids. Some kids were able to progress more than a year's growth. And so I don't know if we had skipped any grades or not, but it wasn't necessarily a grade, it was a skill level that they went to. And I thought it was, wasn't necessarily novel. I guess it was common sense, really, when you think about it. But that fourth grade and fifth grade benchmark was more age-based. Than what we are science level, skill-based. So instruction was an important part of what we did, is certainly an important part of schooling. And I think it's important to maintain some semblance of skill advancement, I think, rather than age advancement. You don't move on because you're older. I guess we do when we're retired and say, okay, now you can retire because you're old enough. But still, you're not retired necessarily unless you're done with the skill development, and you're never done with that. But I don't know, maybe there has to be a combination of skill level and age. Those non-motivated students we found were 14 and 15, but still down in the third and fourth grade skill level, and that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Somehow we have to progress beyond that. The values or morals, I think that comes with the family. That has to be part of working with the family. And both in Lutheran schools and in the villages, that was a pretty close communication. Your family and what was happening in the classroom and the values of both were fairly congruent.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good combination there. I always told my kids or parents when I was recruiting for the Lutheran schools that I would treat their kids as if they were my own, and everything was fine. I thought that was kind of a good line, and I felt that way. I honestly felt that that's what I would be doing until one of the parents says, "Well, how do I know you don't beat your kid?" I says, "Well, I guess you don't," and I kind of stopped saying that, but still felt it. So that has to be a joint effort.
Right.
Family can't abrogate the responsibility of teaching the values and morals. That has to come from their faith base and their church base.
Again, I want to thank you. First of all, thank you for a lifetime of service to communities where you were working. Thank you for the integrity you had and have as a man, and for spending some time with us today. We so appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I was a little fearful, but I enjoyed the opportunity and enjoyed the discussion. That every time I talk about it, brings back some phenomenal memories, great memories. And I
Yeah.
don't think about the bad ones. They're always good ones.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, bless you, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you.